What's happening everyone, TomGorian here and welcome back to another race of the F1 22 RFL Season 9 Championship. This is round number 3, Zandvoort, the Dutch Grand Prix. A very decent circuit for me. Last season I finished on the podium and this season I am focused on getting a win. If you haven't watched the other two races of Season 9, I highly recommend that you go to the playlist and also go down into the link in the description and also literally the end chapters of the end of this video. Make sure to like, share, comment and subscribe for more F1 22 League Racing content as we get underway for round number 3. Practice, a little bit disappointing, I can't lie. It's just once again, just like in the last 4 to 5 hours of practice, I just like the gap between myself and the likes of Scott and Fapper just seemed to decrease. And to be honest, I do feel like, especially ever since Season 9 started, that I am starting to find my way around setups and I'm starting to really extract how much time I can get with just the setup alone, as we do a 12-1 on the medium tyres and we're quicker than Virtue Dan on the same tyres. But speaking of qualifying, it was literally a wasted effort, and you're going to see right now, coming in towards Sector 2, and we're literally 2 temps up, and as you can see, that was Leighton getting in our way, and I originally put in a ticket for that, but later on, I literally removed the ticket, so Leighton won't get any penalties for that or anything. But yeah, that's a bit of a disappointing way to end the lap when you're just on a good lap, you're 3 temps up and someone gets in your way like that. But this lap, as you'll see, is my quickest lap on the soft tyres, and the reason for that is because towards the end of the race, well, the end of qualifying even, it's going to be raining, so this is literally the one and only lap I actually got that was actually a good lap. So entering the banking and now going up the hill in towards 7th gear, entering this blind right-hander down in towards 5th gear, back into 6th, and as you can see, we're not really gaining that much time, only a 10th. I think, I don't really, what was the best lap time I was doing in literally in practice? I think it was like a mid-11, I think it was like 11.5, or even like an 11.4 maybe, but I'm not really sure. But coming in towards the tight chicane in Sector 3, braking at the 100 meter board, trying to get as lot of that apex on the inside as you can, in towards 2nd gear now, just like it's trying to go through the gears in towards the final. That corner is very lethal, especially on the tyres, and also the outside and the inside curb force you to spin. We'll go purple in the 2nd sector, believe it or not, and we actually do a 1 minute 11.7, so not really that far away from a personal best. We was literally doing like, I think it was like 11.3s in practice, but coming towards the end of the qualifying session, as you can see, it starts to rain, and yeah, we literally lost all the time. Literally, by Sector 2, the lap was over, I literally lost 5 temps, and yeah, that's a very disappointing and frustrating. It's a very frustrating way to end qualifying, considering that when you're doing practice and you do it well, and, yeah, and just the qualifying happens like that, it's very annoying. But we're going to be starting in P6 behind both Ferraris, JJ Finelater, Fabicu 74 and also Virtue Dan, who literally got his lap time in there. So yeah, just a missed opportunity to try and get into the top 5 and to try and get pole position in this race. But yeah, as you know, for RFL sprint races, obviously we have a sprint race before the actual main 50% race, so this will determine the grid. So just because we qualify badly doesn't mean we're going to finish in P6 for the main race. 5 red lights here at Zandvoort, and lights out, and away we go for the Dutch Grand Prix. I tried to just avoid some wheel spin, and I thought I actually got a decent start as I heading towards turn 1. Angelo broke extremely late, or extremely early, for turn 1, so we're going to try and have a go in towards turn 3. Angelo's getting boxed in between myself and Scott right there, and notice literally I went side by side with Angelo in towards turn 3. That curb is going to be very, very important, not for this video, but I think for the incident that's going to happen in this race. And spoilers, it doesn't involve me. So coming in towards the end of Sector 1, and we're just trying to find a rhythm, we're just trying to find something, and as you can see, that's Virtue Dan, who's on pole position. He has span coming out of that corner, and now we are up into P5. So that's a very good start for us as we enter lap number 2, and that's JJ Feinleiter. He's hit the wall. Scott also went wide, and the two Ferraris might go side by side, but they don't. And now we are in P4 of this Dutch Grand Prix. I'm going to try and overtake Angelo right now. Yeah, I should have probably waited for DRS looking back on this corner. I tried to force the overtake down here on the inside, but I should have literally just waited for DRS. But you never want to wait for a certain overtake, because you don't know if you're going to make a mistake or lose time, or if the car ahead's going to be further away to the point where you can't really maximise the drag reduction system. But sector 2, and as you can see, Angela does the rookie mistake of riding that curb, and there she goes. That Ferrari has spun again, and that's Angelo's chance of getting a point gone in this race. And Angelo hasn't had the best start to RFL Season 9. Come around the final corner and the banking. We're going to be fair place, but it's not going to be close enough. Vapid Q gets pole position for the Dutch Grand Prix, followed by Scott W and then myself in fair place. Very decent recovery, I'd say, coming from 6th place to try and go on to P3 in this race. So we're going to start this RFL Dutch Grand Prix. And yeah, you're going to see by the title of this video why this circuit, for some reason, is a massive killer when it comes to fuel. And it's literally my fault, because I didn't do any race prep. All my preparation I did was literally qualifying. So, yeah, it's literally... Yeah, you're going to see. But everyone, apart from Vapid and also Kirby, were on the medium. So, if we can get a good start in towards turn 1, maybe, jump Scott, then that would really put us in prime position for the win of this race. We need a win. It's the 3rd round of this RFL Season 8 Championship here in Zandvoort. Lights out, and away we go for the Dutch Grand Prix. And Scott gets an absolute tremendous start. We don't get a good enough start as we're heading towards the outside of turn 1. Bit of contact between myself and Angelo. I think Angelo got boxed in there between himself and JJ. But Kirby, of course, as predicted, on the medium tyres, he's in P3 as him and Vapid and Scott go side by side in towards the first banking. And yeah, and as you can see, we're just struggling for, I won't say struggling for grip, as JJ finally gives us contact there, which I thought was extremely unnecessary, in that moment. But coming in towards lap 2, and as you can see, that's JJ, he's span, and he will be falling towards the back of the grid. Follow me on Twitch as well. I will be live streaming these races as I do every single week at TomGorian, and that's where you can catch my live reactions. Lap 3, we're going to try and force the initiative. We're going to go down the inside of TM Kirby 26 in the Mercedes. Down the inside, but we're not really that far enough, and it's very awkward when you're trying to overtake someone that's in the same party as you, especially with Kirby. Kirby literally said he wasn't going to let me by for a couple laps, so I had to literally force the overtake myself. Otherwise, Angelo in the Ferrari was pretty much going to get me. So that move was very important in this race. But as you can see, we've literally lost probably the best part of 2.5-3 seconds towards Scott and Vapid, and that's really our main rivals in this race is Scott and Vapid. I do consider myself to be quicker than both of them, but if they're in clear air and we're not, then we're not really catching. We're just retaining time, and you don't really want to be doing that. But entering lap 16 of this race. So as you can see on the front, on the bottom right, there's our fuel. So originally I started this race with 0.7 laps of fuel, and I very much underestimated how badly the fuel would be in this race, because usually on F122 you can run between 0.7 and 0.5 or 0.4 laps of fuel and you'll make it to the end very comfortably, even with a safety car. But for this track, just the fuel around here, you burn too much of it, and again, it's literally my fault because I didn't do a race practice or a race simulation, so I don't really know how much fuel that you needed. I just thought, hell, you don't really need that much fuel in this game, so let me just put 0.7 laps and let me be sound with it. Clearly not, and you're going to see in this stint, as Vertudan, who literally did a 2-lap undercut on us, he's actually now in 2nd place, so that is very annoying. But yeah, Scott, I think Angelo, and also, Vapid. No, Vapid actually boxed. Well, yeah, Vapid is literally on the harder tyres, so yeah, so as you can see, I'm just entering these gears very early into 3rd gear, and yeah, I'm just starting to short shift now in towards 6th gear. And I'm just starting to realise, well, I've got 12 laps to try and make it to the end, and I'm extending my gap to Vapid. So if I can slightly extend to Vapid whilst trying to save as much fuel as I can, I should be fine for 4th place. At this point, I'm just accepting it that the win is now gone, because literally Scott and Angelo, they still need to box, and we're going to be losing so much time to those Ferraris. And I don't think Dan was literally slowly but surely creeping up on us on the medium tyres. Coming towards the final corner on lap 25, Angelo now boxes, and we now officially are going to get 3rd place in this race, but Angelo will have fresher tyres towards the end of the race, and we will have to manage our fuel, which is going to be very annoying. And considering the gap between me and Vapid is now 3.7 seconds now between myself and Vapid, but Vapid was in a worse situation than me when it came to fuel, and he had really under-fueled his car for this race. So let that be a lesson for future games. When you're doing racing around the circuit, make sure you put at least 1 lap of fuel in, because if you don't, you might run out. And the only reason why I literally survived this underfueling is because of a safety car. Checo has crashed, and that has saved my race. If it wasn't for that safety car, we probably would have finished 4th. Maybe, yeah, probably 4th, because we literally ran out of fuel. But now, because of the safety car, we can 1, save our fuel, and pretty much go aggressive until the end, and 2, we're going to be on fresh, soft tyres. And as you can see around about now, we've literally gained the most out of that. And by the way, Virtue Dan is in 2nd, who's got a 5-second time penalty. So that, as long as we can stick with Dan, we're literally in 2nd place. So as long as we don't bin it, or as long as we don't get overtaken or crash into Dan, we are going to get our first podium of the season. And as you can see there, Dan is coming in again for another set of mediums, and ultimately to get rid of that 5-second time penalty. And he will be literally at the back of this little train, if you will, between Scott, myself, Angelo, Vapid, and also Dan as well, and Kirby. So, lap 31. Fuel is alright, we got fresh tyres, and now it's a sprint to the end. It's now a true race to the end. It's no longer me versus Vapid versus Angelo and Dan, it's now me versus Scott for the win of this Dutch Grand Prix. Scott literally took the win in the last race, and now he's going to try and make it a 2 for 2. And plus also Aiden, who's also fighting for this championship, he's also missing this race. So if Scott literally wins, then I think he takes the championship lead for the first time all season. So he's got as much to prove on as I have, but literally it was a very even fight. I couldn't really catch him, only on the main straights, but it wasn't enough. It's P2 in the RFL Dutch Grand Prix, our first podium of this season. Quite happy with that. Just the one complaint is that if I didn't underfuel the car, I could have really been more competitive in the second half of the stint, as far as the medium stint. I literally fell away from Scott and Angelo and all that other stuff. Even when Angelo literally came in, I lost time to him. So yeah, but the fact that the safety car literally saved our race, I think it's a 2nd place, but I feel like I could have won that race maybe if the safety car came in literally 1 lap before or whatever. But listen, a podium's a podium, and we take that. So we need to take this momentum on to France next week, and hopefully we can win in France and start to build our championship case. But yeah, that's the French Grand Prix. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Make sure to leave like, share, comment, and subscribe for more F1 22 RFL content, and I'll see you all in the next video. In a bit.